All right, today we talk about component number 2, which happens to be everyone's favorite. Just kidding, some people's favorite, and that's cardio. What we want to do today is just give a rough overview of cardio, what it does, how to change it basically, and how to incorporate things so that you don't plateau. Now, the first thing that we want to realize about cardio is that it's a form of stress on our bodies. And our bodies can adapt to stress. That's what they try to do. So what we need to make sure of is that we break plateaus with cardios. An example, if you were to do the same cardio over and over and over again, the first time you do it, it's tough and you probably see results, but then it gets easier and easier and easier. Your body becomes a lot more efficient at it and you burn less calories. So what we need to do and what our goal is today is to kind of give you an idea how cardio needs to change in order to break plateaus. Now, the easiest way to look at that is a principle. This is a pretty well-known scientific principle for cardio. It's called the FIT principle, F-I-T-T. And the first thing with the FIT principle that we can manipulate in breaking plateaus with cardio is frequency. Very simple. How often do we exercise? Is that 1, 2, 3, 4 times a week? That's something we can change on a weekly basis if we want to make sure that we're changing the stress so that you won't plateau. The next thing we want to talk about is intensity. Now, intensity is how hard the cardio is, how hard it is to do. It's very relevant to your heart rate and what heart rate level you're at. But there's other options as well. I actually, for beginners, like to use a talk test. Basically, this gives us 3 options: a low intensity, a moderate intensity, and a high intensity. Now, a low intensity, you could carry a conversation on and not even be winded. And that's when you go to a new machine or something you've not done before, it's a good idea to get used to it and start out in that intensity range. A moderate intensity is you could talk, you could carry a conversation, but every so often you're going to have to catch your breath. And the third is high intensity, meaning there's no way. You're so winded, there's no way you can talk. You're just breathing, trying to get air in your system. So those are the 3 intensities that I like to work with clients initially. But there's also a more advanced scientific way of figuring that out, and that's through your heart rate. And basically what that does is takes into considerations people's ages, what their training and maximal heart rate should be based on their age, and gives them a target zone. We could debate about this and get into this like crazy, what the target zone is, what's better. That's not the goal at this point. The goal is to kind of get people aware of, measuring what they're doing intense wise, because that's one of the FIT principles that we can exchange or change so that we see results and break plateaus. So we have frequency, we have intensity. The next thing is time. Time is how long is our workout going to be? Now, it's better to start out with a short amount of time with a new exercise because your body's not used to that stress. And then we add time progressively each week till we reach a certain threshold, and then we change it, which I'm going to show you in just a second. But as far as the FIT principle goes, the first T, time, is how long your workout's going to last. Okay, the last part is type. Type is very simple. It's what we're doing. Is that the treadmill? Is it an elliptical machine? Is it swimming? Is it jogging? Is it hiking? Is it jump roping? The type can be manipulated as well. Your body's not used to a certain movement pattern. It has to burn calories to learn and coordinate, and it's hard. Your heart rate gets elevated. So we want to make sure that, type is something that we can manipulate as well. Now, you don't have to manipulate every single one of the principles, the FIT principles, each week, but you want to print some. So what we need to do is kind of talk about how we put the FIT principles together. How do we, what is called in the scientific community, periodize your cardio workout so that you actively train hard and then actively detrain so that your body can break plateaus. So what I want to do is I want to do an example program for somebody that's a beginner cardio. What we have here is the week. So we're going to start with like week 1, 2, 3, 4 and go through a few weeks. And then we're going to talk a little bit about frequency, intensity, time, and type. Remember, that's the FIT principle. Now, for a simple program starting out week number 1, what we would do is we would want to just do it 3 days a week. That's plenty of time to recover. As far as intensity goes, low intensity, so that your heart rate isn't super elevated, so that you can carry a conversation and not be winded. And we'll do 15 minutes, and we'll do something easy like walking. Now, what can we progress? Now we have to change one of those fit principles the next week. In this instance, what we've done is we've kept it 3 days, we've kept a low intensity, but we've increased the time. So generally for a beginner, we're going to increase the time gradually and keep with the same type. Now, what's going to happen is your body will get used to the type over and over again. People get bored too. You want to look at that. So let's look at week 3. Still 3 days, that's plenty. Still low intensity. But what we're going to do is we're going to change the type from walking to elliptical. So it's something totally different. Your body's not used to that movement. And because of that, we actually can drop your time a little bit. And then the next week, increase the time a little bit. So you kind of see that there's a little trend here. And the 5th week, what we do is we drop the time again, but then change it to a different type. So instead of the elliptical, we're doing it on the bike now. And then week number 6, same thing. We're increasing the time and we're keeping the same type. Now, the point that we want to make here is that we're changing one of these principles each week. And this was just an example that I put together. Everybody's got a different body type. Everybody's got different goals. In order for you to truly know and understand what your cardio needs to be, you need to have feedback. You need to have measurements. You need to have that meeting with a professional on a weekly basis so that they can tutor you on these principles and teach you how to break a cardio plateau, which is a powerful plateau to break. It's good for your heart, it's good for your lungs, but it's also good for fat loss as well. So what we need to make sure of is that you're always meeting or at least understanding and getting feedback on what your body's doing through body fat testing and through working with a professional, working smart. Now the goal with these videos is to give people an idea of what needs to be done in order for them to see great results and be able to see the kind of results that they would like and be able to maintain. And we know that in order to do that, your program needs to be designed by a professional, and then you need to have that follow-up and have it manipulated on a weekly basis. If you guys are interested, email me with any questions, free cardio consultation. We'll talk about the cardio you're doing, give you ideas. This is all free. Just shoot me an email, and we will spend as much time as allotted as we can in helping you understand how we can break your cardio plateau, how we can combine component number 2, which is cardio, with the other components so that you can see the results that you truly want.